Dubai, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. It's sunny today, but Dubai is preparing for rain. Our top story, a new 30 billion dirham rain drainage system has been announced.
As well, the UAE expands abortion laws with 3 new approved cases.
We are also talking about the teen who was arrested for a bomb threat on a Dubai-bound flight.
As well, the Wealth Migration report, the UAE will attract the most millionaires in 2024.
And speaking of money, we've got Mr. Golden Visa on the show, who's also talking wealth migration and key corporate tax updates.
It's 262 days since the genocide began on October 7 in Gaza. The current death toll stands at 37,626. The number of injured people is 86,098, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
It's partly cloudy in Dubai today. We expect to hit highs of 42 degrees outside. While we know inside your cars, it's a whole other story. By the way, has anyone tried that hack of leaving your window open? Just a teeny... No, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah. We'll be trying it.
Because when you get into your car, it's so hot and you're just like, your body, the temperature increases and like you start sweating immediately. Yeah. But you're not sweating outside if you've only been outside for 10 seconds.
I mean, I don't know. To me, this is like all normal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let my dad try it out. Since my dad gets in the car first, opens the AC, and then we go follow.
Farah's dad is goals if you haven't watched the show before. So if anyone's watching has trialed the hack for reducing your car from being an oven to it being the heat of the outdoor environment, like that's the point.
What they should try it.
And let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And speaking of that, by the way, you guys, we have this amazing gift.
Yes, we do.
You are a mother and even a father and you have a baby. We have this amazing package that I think, honestly, it's very cute. We opened it and it's adorable. It has all of the essentials that you need. Specifically that Casey went on an airplane and she had a crying baby.
Yes, I did. But the crying baby didn't have Sophie the giraffe, and if the crying baby had Sophie, parents will be like, it's Sophie the giraffe.
It's very
Do you
cute.
know Sophie the giraffe?
I actually did not know, since I don't have babies, but maybe you should know because you're getting married.
So they're two very different things, but I like where your head's at. But maybe I should know. So Sophie the giraffe, it's like this kid's toy that kids are obsessed with, and they sent us this very nice package. It's got tushy cream for the tushies. It's got wet wipes. It's got all of these nice things.
And I'm sure that the wet wipes are like, they're cruelty-free and everything because I think they're for babies, right? And babies are very sensitive.
They don't want to be.
Yeah, they are. Like they say
Cruelty,
here,
not trusted.
So they are actually from citric acid because it's not irritating to the baby's skin, and they as well have the seal glucoside, which cleanses the skin. There's aloe vera for skin conditioning. There's sodium benzoate, which is as well, I think, cleaning. And yeah, guys, a lot of things.
A lot of things.
A lot of things
that
are really good if you are like
shea butter. Well, we would like to give it to a parent or someone who knows a parent and you're going to a baby shower soon, for example, and you want to gift it. So if you're watching right now, in the comments, just do a little giraffe emoji if they've got one.
Ooh, that's actually very nice.
Or tag your friend, or tag someone that deserves it. And Massa, who is furiously screenshotting people who are entering, and we'll get that someone. But just do a little giraffe emoji. And you know who didn't have this box?
Oh.
The people I was flying next to.
Tell me about your experience.
Well, I think like this happens to everyone.
Okay.
But I think everyone has a different reaction to it. So I came back from a flight 2 nights ago, and I got on the flight, and there were parents and their baby. And for the first time ever, maybe it's because of life changes, but I was like, oh, well, even though the baby was crying a lot, I didn't mind. Because I felt for the parents.
I think because you're getting married.
I don't know.
I think because, you know, like you're starting a family.
The empathy grew.
Exactly. So the empathy is naturally going to grow. Because I think I figured it out because you're getting married. Katie.
Well, family married or two. What is your reaction to the babies on the flight?
I would be like, ugh, can this mother just like already like, I don't know, quiet her baby?
No, the poor
because
mom
I'm young,
and dad.
Because I'm young. I'm young. Okay,
yeah.
I'm young. And I, like, years ago, I would think in a way like, oh, I don't want to have babies. But then I grew out of it. Maybe I'll go out of this too. I would.
I think so, because I felt like that before, and now I just have so much empathy for the mom and the dad in the situation, because you know that not only are they dealing with this crying today, they were dealing with that crying last night and the next night, and they're tired, and they might even have more than one. So to soothe the crying baby, put the cream on their tushies and take cute photos.
It looks very
adorable.
Peaceful, but they're
That's
not
a peaceful baby.
Peaceful.
Yeah, the photos lie. Okay, let's jump into our top story today. The rain that damaged the UAE following the landmark flooding. People look towards solutions, and the UAE has done just that with a new 30 billion dirham rain drainage system. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, yesterday announced a 30 billion project to develop Dubai's rain and drainage network, which will increase Dubai's rainwater drainage capacity by 700%.
Now, this landmark move will enhance the city's climate readiness. Covering all areas, it will absorb over 20 million cubic meters of water daily, making it the region's largest rainwater collection network.
Dubai's ruler added that the project will serve Dubai for the next 100 years. Construction will begin immediately, with completion set for 2023. Could you imagine the scale of this project? First of all, amazing. We saw one of the most significant climatic moments in UAE history not too long ago. It damaged homes, it damaged businesses, it affected the economy for a couple of weeks, and immediately, within a short space of time, look at what the UAE has done in terms of put the money on the table for the solution.
I agree with you, and honestly the best thing is how the UAE took what it went through and decided to like be ready in case anything else happens for the future, which by the way just like shows us how the UAE as a country is really out there for its residents to maybe avoid what happened, the floods that happened. You know, they have done a lot of damage. They do not want the damage to ever happen again, and so they are coming up with this set of drainage for 2033.
And aren't we so lucky? Because these types of climatic moments, it's not just singular to the UAE. We must remember that so many countries are facing climatic change and needing to deal with it. And not all the countries are blessed with the infrastructure and the economy that we have. And I love the comments. Love the comments on this post, because people are just saying, you know, like, haters have left the chat. Like, this move is so significant. If you're a homeowner in Dubai, you may have questioned it following one climatic incident, but the UAE has just made sure that within a number of years we are ready for this type of climatic incident. It's
I agree,
amazing.
and I want to ask, how is the rain situation in Ireland?
It's a lot, because I wanted to see. So this, what we've announced, is going to set the UAE up to combat. What was the number? 20 million cubic meters of water daily. So I wanted to see how much rain we get in Ireland. But the only number I could find was we get 151 rain days a year on average. 151.
Which is a lot.
Which is like half. Oh, nearly half.
I mean, yeah, but like, you know, because like what happened with the UAE,
that was 3 days.
It was like 3 days of like a lot of rain that maybe if you combine like all of the rain that Ireland and other countries faced.
Yeah, there is a comparison of the amount of rain London gets in a year or a month, I can't remember, and that's how much we experienced in 3 days here. But so it's basically raining every second day in Ireland.
Yeah. So do you think they need drainage systems?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. It never floods in Ireland. The grass just gets greener. The trees just get leafier. We're good. Rain is not a problem. You don't get a day off for rain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes snow. Yeah, sometimes snow. But no more days off once this drainage system is complete. Okay, jumping into our next story, we've got updates on a big story that went live last week.
So last week, we did mention how the UAE came up with new abortion laws. However, the UAE expanded its abortion laws with 3 new approved cases. The UAE abortion laws were recently announced, as mentioned, with exception of some cases. And many wondered about other cases such as rape and so on, while the UAE now will permit abortion cases in case of rape or incest, making a significant milestone in the country's abortion laws. And experts believe this change will enhance the health and safety of women in the United Arab Emirates.
For more information, the Cabinet Resolution of number 44 of 2024 related to the medical liability law states that abortion is allowed if the pregnancy is the result of intercourse with a female against her will, without her consent, or without adequate volition, and if the person who caused the pregnancy is an ancestor of the woman or of someone who's basically ineligible for marriage relatives.
And as well, abortions for rape or incest require proof by the public prosecution. Now, the fetus must be under 120 days old and the procedure should be safe. Details regarding request spouses have not been specified in the resolution.
A licensed gynecologist can perform the procedure at an approved healthcare facility if the conditions are met. The woman must receive medical and social counselling before and after the procedure.
And finally, the law applies to both Emiratis and expats as well, who are non-Emiratis, but they must have legally resided in the UAE for at least 1 year before submitting their request.
Yeah, I think it's great that we made the announcements last week. There's a lot of questions, and I think this really clears up a lot of what you're asking. And I think if you're concerned, if you have any private questions that you want to ask, you don't want to put them on a public forum. If it's related to the news, you can direct them to our DMs. You can also just go directly to healthcare providers, and they'll be able to give you that information. So if you have any queries or concerns, just go directly to your healthcare provider.
Well, I agree with you, and let's jump to our next story. So a teen has been arrested for email bomb threats on Dubai-bound flight. So a 13-year-old boy sent an email to Delhi airport claiming a bomb was planted on a Dubai-bound flight.
He admittedly did this just for fun, and after being influenced by the news of another teenager who made a hoax bomb threat call a few days before. The Deputy Commissioner of Police at IGI Airport, Ushwa Rangani, gave this information in the report.
Now, the airport declared this as an emergency and was on high alert until the email was revealed as a hoax. Now, during the investigation, it was revealed that the email ID was deleted just after sending the email. The email was traced at the Pitoran in Yutranal, of course, Ranji said. And this is honestly, like, this story just like makes me think in a way that how teenagers get affected so easily.
That copycat thing.
100%. It's like a trend, you know what I mean? Like how on TikTok you see a dance happening and then like one person can create a trend and everyone else follows. It's like the domino effect in a way. And that's what the kid did. Of course, I don't think he did that to harm anyone or anything, but he did not really understand the consequences of the threat and the email.
Yeah. It's really tricky because we're speaking about a child, but like you think about, you know, this is so triggering, and any types of reports like this, airports need to take so seriously. And you think about the pranks that you played when you were younger, silly ones,
like
but you knew the line. You knew the line, and you knew, and the email. So this was someone definitely, you know, testing boundaries here, seeing maybe, and that's the problem. Like when you're a teenager, seeing the attention maybe someone else got. So you think about, you know, is it a cry for help, cry for attention from parents? Who knows? But there's a line, and the police have to deal with this. And they have, so the teen was arrested in this case because you can't, like when something of this magnitude happens, which basically puts airports on high alert, they have to deal with it. So the teen was arrested in this case.
I agree with you. And as well, you know, like teenagers are very competitive between each other. And he probably saw like someone else who did that prank. He's like, oh yeah, I know I can do it better. Let me do it this way. And I don't think he really understood what was going to happen or he was going to get arrested. I don't think he really understood as well, like the how dangerous, yeah, exactly, for him to like do that, because like it's not only him, you know, it's a lot of people, it's a whole airline, you know, involved in this, and everyone really would get scared because like it's like the safety of a lot of passengers, people, including him, including everyone. But I hope that, you know, he would understand
now,
you know, now after he got arrested. But yeah, so like just like before, I would advise like for anyone who wants to follow a trend, before you guys, when you read something and you want to follow the thing that you guys read, just like take like a step back, think about it, because like it's a thing, you know, it's social media is there and you just want to follow.
Yeah, I think that goes across everything. And when you think about how in our lives, the trends that we probably unknowingly follow.
Oh God.
The list of things that we want to buy, you know, the haircuts that we've gone through in our lives, our eyebrows, for example. But also, like, it just shows, you know, we think that, you know, when you're on like incognito mode, that you're actually, what you're searching is private, but absolutely not. Let us be known that like it's very easy to trace someone online if you've got the might of government authorities behind you. So yes,
just take care.
What you search is in private, basically. So
exactly.
Take note of that, and let's jump into our next story. The UAE will attract the most millionaires globally in 2024. Yes, the money is moving, and it's moving to the UAE. Henley & Partners annual publications follows wealth and investment migration trends, and they feature exclusive millionaire migration data. And today we're looking at the top 10 countries for millionaire inflow. And this following data set represents the top 10 countries globally in terms of projected net inflow of millionaires this year.
Now, millionaire migration is leading indicator of the overall health of a country and its economy, and the UAE tops the list. So without further ado, starting at 10 and moving down to 0, Japan, Portugal, Greece, Switzerland, Italy.
I can see why millionaires would want to move to those countries. And then at number 5 for inflow of millionaires, Australia, number 4, Canada, number 3, Singapore, number 2, USA, and you already know it, but let's do a drum roll anyway. And at number 1 is UAE. 6,700 millionaires are expected to move to the UAE. And if that is a small number to you, we want to give you the differentiation. So at number 2, 3,800 millionaires are expected to move to the USA. So over half of a difference. Anyone watching the show today is like, does she even know maths? Loads of millionaires are moving to the UAE. and significantly more than any other country in the world. So if you're a millionaire in Europe, if you're in South America, if you're anywhere, people are eyeing the UAE more than any country in the world, which is significant, and that shows why property prices are rising, and it shows why the economy is booming, and now it's a clear indicator of that.
I agree. And by the way, I have it's not like a fear. It's something because when I sit with my family, all I hear them talk about is money and living in the UAE and living outside and all of these things. So I think that millionaires, as if I was a millionaire, I would actually come to the UAE because I'm not going to be paying taxes. And that would be a win-win situation for me, and which would be really good. If let's say I am American and I would not invest all of my money in the United States because I'm going to be having to pay tax and so on. And the UAE, by the way, allows you to do everything.
Yeah.
At this point.
You know what's interesting about the lack of paying taxes is I traveled over Eid, a couple of people did, and I had a conversation, maybe it was with Saima, and it was about the number of holidays you take in the UAE versus if you live anywhere else. And it's just very normal. Like a topic of conversation, oh, where are you traveling for Eid? Oh, I'm not traveling. But it's very much part of the yearly planning is, will you go away for Eid, will you not? And then you think, oh, why don't people in other countries why do I take more holidays? And it's because of that little extra, that tax break. And rather than saving the money, we're like, oh, well, just travel.
Let it out.
Go away.
Give it out to everyone.
Yeah, so we're lucky.
Yeah, and by the way, regarding that, my aunt, so we talked about it, and she was like, the UAE is very smart. It gives you that amount of leave days and that amount of summer holidays for schools because it's better for the economy, apparently, for the UAE, according to, if I'm gonna summarize everything that she said. And I when she was talking about it, I was mind blown. I was like, wow, the UAE is really smart, and that's how the UAE keeps on improving economically and financially, and as well in a tourist way. And it's just wow, UAE, I wish I was as smart as UAE.
So what you're saying is if we're off, we'll spend more money if we're on holidays. Well, then therefore, I wonder if they'd move the school holidays at summer to December, and then you'd really stay in the country, because what you see is a massive exodus of people in the summer.
Yeah.
And although this summer we're seeing traffic hasn't decreased yet, although obviously schools are still in motion, but you'd over the last number of years, it was definitely lesser people on the roads. But we do think that the country will still stay busy this summer. There seems to be a bit of a shift. But generally, if you really wanted this people to spend their money during summers, you'd shift the school holidays to a cooler time of year.
I agree. Casey for president.
No, but then kids would actually be going to school in 50-degree heat, and that would not work.
Yeah.
Speaking of wealth migration, Mr. Golden Visa is going to be up next. We're talking wealth migration. We're going to look at the latest corporate tax updates in the UAE. He's also going to be joined by a special guest right after this break. Do stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we are back again with Mr. Golden Visa, who was recently bringing UAE business success to the States and right back to the UAE. He brings with him a special guest, Sahil Kumar, to talk about the journey and provide updates on corporate tax registration. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you.
Nice to be here
for having us.
I hope jet lag is cured. When did you get back from the States?
Oh, last Wednesday. It took me 4 days.
It takes time.
Yeah, I was sleeping all day, late afternoon, but then now I'm good. After the weekend, I'm much better.
What's the hour difference like?
11 hours from the East Coast, and from the West Coast, it was 8.5 hours.
A lot. Okay.
Yes.
So tell us, where were you and how was the trip? How did it go?
Oh, I went to 4 different states, but
Wow.
I'll focus more on Miami and LA, where it was more of business trip. Met a lot of interesting people. The best part is anyone you talk to and you talk about Dubai, everyone just opens their eyes. They just want to somehow be a part of Dubai.
Really?
Yeah, literally,
So
just need a way. How do we get here? How can we move our business? What can we do? Even a lot of people, to be very honest, were interested in finding a job in Dubai. That was very interesting for me to know. Like a lot of people working in massive IT companies, including Silicon Valley, they are looking at options of Abu Dhabi and Dubai. How do they can move there just because of safety, security, ease of working, how Dubai is a bling today. Everyone wants a part of it. So this was really amazing.
What was like the most common question you think you got from people about the UAE?
Mostly people were interested to know if they move to Dubai, if they will be tax affected. And another massive question, we can own a property in Dubai? People do not know that Dubai, you can own a property. This is so shocking. And I'm talking about people from Hollywood that I met. They didn't know that they can own property in UAE, other than opening business. Opening business was the easier part, but making them understand now that they can own a property in UAE was a massive eye-opener for them.
Interesting. That's 100% one of the big misconceptions, because back in the day you couldn't.
Yes, you couldn't.
So what made Decisive Zone take the trip? Like, why did you guys decide we want to go to the States to spread the word?
Well, in first quarter of 2024, we saw a lot of Americans moving here, and anyone who comes here, they want to have a foot here. They want to bring their family. They want to move here. And me personally, helping a couple of people from Miami, LA, and New York to move to UAE. That got us an eye-opener, like why nobody is actually targeting US market, because US people, they just need a helping hand to know somebody who they can trust and rely on to have a foot in Dubai. So that's why we decided, let us go there and explore and tell people, hey, we are here. This is what Dubai is all about. Dubai is opening their doors to every part of the world to have a foot here, just by giving them ease of doing business and have a better living conditions from any part of the world today.
It was also a case of getting rid of misconceptions, because a lot of times that's where people get sucked into it. So once you start sort of clarifying those doubts, it sort of eases the path into actually moving here.
And for the people who are interested, like, we know shopping, we know beach clubs, we know shawarma, but and you've kind of touched on safety, but like, what do you think is the primary factor that has caused that interest in the UAE?
I would say safety.
Yeah, safety, security of anything.
Really?
Yes, I mean, really, we are live. I cannot really give a lot of example of how my trip was in US, but I did have to go through a few events late in the evening after coming back from dinner. On the way back, like small things as being followed or somebody telling, no, you should take an Uber and do not walk on these streets.
But we can talk about it. I was in San Francisco.
Really?
I was in San Francisco a month ago, and I was because
Christ.
Yeah, and it's so wild how you see how the media portrays the West and the East, and we're so blessed to be here, and you really see it when you go elsewhere. So maybe that's why.
100%. And okay, now that we can talk about it, literally, we were on Rodeo Drive, or we were on the Hollywood Street, Hollywood Boulevard as well. We saw so many homeless people. Now, not that everybody come and attack you, but we were very scared on, can we wear our watches? Can we leave our wallets on the side hanging? Or we were literally holding our bags like this while we were walking on those streets. Late evening, the weather was so beautiful that we wanted to walk back, but the waiters and the doormen, they were like, you should not walk back on these streets. You need to take a cab and Uber and go. So safety and security is where Dubai prime over any country in the world today,
100%.
especially US, I would say.
So you've got the interest, no doubt.
Yes.
But what's the process like to actually set up a business if you're living in the States? Do you need to live in Dubai?
Go ahead.
No, you don't actually need to live here, as in form of a long time, because once you get the business set up, most of it's done remotely anyway. So once you have the numbers clarified, all the sort of security is taken care of, all you have to do is just at that point you get the paperwork sorted remotely, and then you just have to fly in for a visa, and then depending on what kind of legal employment or legal status you do have on your visa, you may need to fly in once a year or twice a year. But that's about it. So you can easily operate out of any part of the world.
Yes.
But you can have your business based and do your invoicing, money movements, etc. through the UAE.
And then I know entrepreneurs can get golden visas,
Yeah.
but is there any differences between the process for a golden visa for, say, someone from the States or someone abroad? So if anyone's watching and you're not from the States, but you're from elsewhere and you want to set up here, is there any differences between the golden visa I as an entrepreneur might get and they might get?
No, the categories of golden visa is same for anyone around the world. It does not matter whether you hold a US passport, Indian, Pakistani, or any other passport. The category is same as long as you fall under the bracket of any one of the categories of either property owner, salary, or a skilled employee. You are eligible for that golden visa. It does not matter which country you come from.
So we've spoken about bringing the States to the UAE, but we also want to
100%,
talk
we're on
about...
it.
We're on it?
100%. I mean, I've got so many people interested. My team is talking to so many different channel partners, plus so many end users who are actually willing and interested to come to Dubai. We're literally going to start with their paperwork.
And what, by the way, is the biggest, in your view, sector, industry, or interest that people want to bring here, whether it's finance or...
Well, I got the maximum interest from tech industry because we were I was in LA, and plus I went to Silicon Valley to meet a few tech people. They were very interested to see if they can have a foot here, because having a presence in Middle East, they can easily cater the eastern part of the world. Wherein from the US office, they want to cater the West and Europe. So they were already in the mindset of they want to have a foot in Dubai. So me being there and able to help them face to face actually got them very much interested and ready to start their journey in UAE. So
you bring a tech company to the UAE and then you need to talk to them about corporate tax. There's been big updates on it, and whenever there is tax mentioned in a headline, the questions just come from left, right and centre. So updates on corporate tax, what do people need to know?
As of the last update, there has been a couple more changes. It's just been imposed a bit more strictly now, because all new businesses and existing businesses have had time to sort of adjust to the fact that yes, it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's also like the same scenario when back in the day VAT was implemented. A lot of people didn't know what was going on, but then people slowly, phased into it. They gradually understand what's going on. So now it's just a case that any businesses that have, this is the recent update, any businesses that have been set up in March or April have up until the end of June to be registered for corporate tax, and as a mandate. So any businesses that have been set up, obviously before that, it's obviously a mandate still, but from March and April also have to be registered for corporate tax.
And does this affect small businesses?
It's for every business in UAE. As long as they're registered in UAE, whether it's a free zone, offshore, or mainland, you have to do the registration for corporate tax and within the timeline that is given. Otherwise, the FTA can impose a fine.
Oh. So what's the cost for setting up corporate tax?
We can get in touch depending on business sizes and things of that nature. So it's a bit of a variable. And you also have to understand, leaning into corporate tax is a case of sort of streamlining across the world, right? So we're sort of moving businesses in the right direction, and we want to be on the same playing field as other businesses already. So we want to sort of build that tax structure in the UAE the way it is with the rest of the world already.
So if a business comes to you specifically to Decisive Zone, what would you do to help them set up their corporate tax?
We take all their documents. I mean, ideally, we have already done the setup for the business, so we have all the documents. If not, we ask for the basic standard documents for the company, and then we go to the FTA website and we make sure we fill up all the forms to the perfection that any company do not end up getting a fine. And then we get them a corporate tax registration document that they must keep with themselves.
And what is the threshold for payment of corporate tax?
So for small and medium businesses, there's two thresholds. Your upper limit revenue has to be around $500,000 US, which translates to about 2 million dirham. And your net profit has to be over 250,000 dirham. And both of these, you are eligible to sort of defer the payment of corporate tax till 2026. If you don't meet either of these criteria, but after the 2026 deadline, then you have to sort of pay the pipe.
But that is the payment of corporate tax. I must insist that every company must register for the corporate tax with FTA by now or by end of June. Otherwise, they will start getting fined. It's not about the payment of corporate tax, which every company has got plenty of time to work that out. But for now, what is most important is every company must register for corporate tax with FTA.
So the UAE wants to regulate to get everyone on their books, and you guys are there to help them do that.
Correct.
So payment is null if the
it does not
companies are
start
small?
until next year, so not that everyone needs to be worried about it today, but right now what is most important, every company must register for corporate tax.
And I feel like when you've been on the show before, there's always been some teasers, some insights. So we have to ask future trends, corporate tax in the UAE.
Right.
Should we be scared? Do you know what's coming?
Not really. I mean, I really wouldn't, even talking in the US, I must say that having a 9% corporate tax is not scary at all. If you compare to the other parts of the world, we are talking about 37%, 48%. Some countries have gone up to 65% corporate tax if you cross a particular threshold. Those countries, people are looking at 9% and they're like, what? Only 9%? And that too, once you cross a particular threshold, plus your earning is above a particular threshold, right? So 9% corporate tax is not to be worried at all. This is just, you need proper bookkeeping and accounting to maintain your books, get it audited. Then at the end of next year, when you actually declare your profits, based on that, you need to pay a 9%, which is way below any country in this world today.
Because you also have to sort of compare, right? We have here a 9% on corporate earnings, but your personal income is still tax-free.
It's zero.
And we have that's staying the same.
That's staying
no
the
income.
same. There is nothing else coming. I hope not as well. We all are
You have
praying
no
that.
insights. That's not happening.
No, there is no news whatsoever.
Okay,
on that.
that's what we need to know.
9% is the cost of security in Dubai.
Yes, let's just put it that way.
Okay, so we're happy with the numbers, but we just need to get our books in order if we are businesses.
100%.
Perfect, guys. Thank you so much. Experts on the topic from Decisive Gone, Mr. Golden Visa and Suhail Kumar. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you for having us once again.
Absolutely. That brings us to the end of the show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Hey.